Hello, I am Becky Winter. I have been working outside since 11 o'clock this morning. Oh my hair like I should have totally looked in the mirror first. So I just wanted to bring to you a real palette project that I'm going to be doing. I gotta get better lighting here. So, do you hear the sound of birds? Oh, it's so amazing. Okay, I have spent all day pulling apart, well actually 2 days ago when I did the other live video, I pulled apart 4 pallets. I only did like parts of them on live, but then I went ahead and I pulled apart all the pallets and I ended up with a stack of wood. And so today my goal was to just get all the nails out. So behind me, can you see that? This is all the wood that I got from those 4 pallets. I mean, it starts about here. Let's see if I can get a better angle. I don't know, in the shade here. No, sun maybe. So this here, this here, this here. Ooh, these are all pallets. Wood from pallets. Some of them did break, but I can still use those. If you are watching, keep watching. I'm gonna actually do a project. So I've got everything set up over here. I did have a bunch of pieces that broke from old wood, but I kept onto it because I might use it for something because it's still really cool. And I was able to get 3 of these. The other ones were kind of cracked. This is nice tall wood that I got. Look at that. It's almost as tall as me. Well, almost. This was a fence post that I had grabbed. My friend Russ, who owns the Mission Coffee House, he's got pallets behind the Mission that you can grab. They're in the alley. But there's also some fence wood and such. So I cut those and I'm going to be making some yard decor with that. But look at this too. This is from the back side of a pallet that I pulled out. Isn't that crazy? So pretty. Looks like fancy wood. I don't know. But I am actually making I'm making a YouTube video right now like that. So once that's done and I'm able to edit, then I'll show you that video. But today what I want to do is I wanted to create a picture for you. I'm gonna be sawing and using the power tools that I have. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me. So I do have a miter saw. When I first started realizing that I really enjoy woodworking and I was not great doing straight lines with a jigsaw, I decided that I was gonna invest in a miter saw. And there's lots of different kinds. I went with rigid because it has a lifetime warranty and I figured I needed it. I also have a little mouse sander, little Black & Decker. I had bought my Black & Decker jigsaw when I first started. It was one of the first tools, but this was the second because I feel like you need to have a little sander. They're only like, you can get cheap ones. It's got a cord, but they're like $20, $25, maybe $30. So super handy. And I also have and the reason everything is Black & Decker is just because it's one of the cheaper options. So this is my drill. It's got a cord, and so I'll be using this. I have 3 pieces of. So this was from a small pallet. It's a little piece. I'm actually going to cut this in half, and I did measure it already, and I put a little line where the center was, just to save time for this video, because I want to show you how I paint it, how I create a project, okay? Then I just grabbed 2 pieces of pallet wood that came off of the same pallet. One thing that you want to make sure of if you're grabbing wood, or like with my stack that I just stacked, is if I'm going to do a project, it's going to be important to make sure that your wood is the same width, because if you're going to be putting it next to each other, then you want them to be relatively even on the top. I love creating rustic. Do you love rustic? If you do, give me a thumbs up. but I love that rustic farmhouse look, and so I'm gonna create a piece of wood decor that you can paint a picture on or do a sign, and I want to show you how easy it can be. You don't have to use all of these tools. You can really just do it with some of the wood that you get off the pallets, but I just kind of wanted to show you how I do it. So I've got my 2 wood slabs. Now the wood's not perfectly straight. That's okay. I like it to have a little character. Oh, my favorite thing about the pallet wood is where the nail holes are. I feel like it adds character. It makes it look even more rustic. So if I can get the nails out, and I'm gonna be sore tomorrow because, let me show you all the nails I pulled out today. This is filled with nails. I have been since at least 11 a.m. this morning. I just wanted to get all this wood ready so that way I can just create when I get into the mood. And it's a lot of work to get some of the nails out. I actually have some of these 2x4s where it's just too much. I'm just not going, I just can't do it right now. I'm too tired. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna cut this in half. I also did pre-drill a couple holes. When you have a drill, it's very handy to pre-drill because that way your wood won't crack. And this is really dry old wood, so I wanted to put a couple little holes in it that are different than the original nail holes. So that way when I screw this onto here, because I'm going to make it look like a shutter, kind of, then I can, then it won't crack it. And it still might crack because it is really old. I don't know. I really want to learn what type of wood is, like what different types of wood look like. So that's my next learning goal. So I'm just gonna show you, whenever you use a saw, it's really important that you use safety. So I have sunglasses on because it's really bright, so these should be fine, but I'm gonna put gloves on. It's real quick, so it will be kind of loud, but you can just at least watch how I do it. So it's my miter saw. I love having a miter saw. I actually would like to get one that will allow you to cut more than here to here because I'm limited. This is a 12-inch compound. It is not a sliding miter, so I can only cut wood that is approximately 6 inches wide. So I can do it if it is wider, but then I have to flip it over and it can be tricky. So all right, so the only thing I'm going to cut today is going to be this. I'm going to cut it in half to be the top and the bottom of my decor piece here. So I just did a little line with pencil. Hold on, I got to plug her in. I thought I plugged it in. I wonder if my plugger's... Okay, hang on. Okay. I have like one plug, so I got to plug it into the... I had found an extension cord, but it's not working. So hopefully I didn't blow a fuse. If I did, then I might have to come up with a different plan. Okay, hang on. There we go. There. Now I have 2 pieces of wood. It's always good to be safe, so I like to shut that when I'm done using it. The next thing I want to do is I do want to sand these a little bit, just to make sure that the edges, especially where I just cut it with the saw, that they aren't too rough, because I'm going to be painting them. But I can't stand sawdust, so I do wear pretty heavy duty okay, so don't laugh at me too much, but I have to because my lungs hurt if I don't. And this is just because I've been, you should always wear protective face wear if you're doing woodworking, but especially sanding because there's so much dust. So I'm just gonna put this on quick. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it, I gotta plug this one in. Okay, sand this down.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick sand to these two here. Just over the top.
All right, now, now I can breathe better. The next thing is you should probably wipe it off with a wet cloth, but I don't have one out here with me, so, and I left my dogs in the house because I don't want them to get full of sawdust either. Just trying to see if you guys left any comments or anything, but I'm glad that you guys are all watching. Thank you for watching. Okay, so I have my two boards. I'm gonna put them together like this. You see what I'm doing? That would be helpful, right? If you could see what I was actually doing. Okay, sorry for those of you who have been watching but can't see anything. Okay, so I'm gonna put one of these here, and I'm gonna put one of these up here. So now I gotta plug in my little drill. So I am not a professional, but I am an at-home DIYer and I enjoy it. And so I'll deal with one because I have to, you know, one extension cord and plug them in when you're using them. So, it's also important to have the right type of nails. And honestly, these are, I got these at the Restore, actually. They were only 75 cents for a giant box. So in my opinion, they were amazing. They'll work for what I need. Pre-drilling may be required. All-purpose. Now these are 1 inch, which it's important to make sure before you grab your screws that it will go through both but not come out the back side. So this is going to go into the top one enough, and it will tightly secure it to the second one. And it will not come through the back side. So that's going to be important. But I'm also going to put some wood glue on here. There's lots of different wood glue options, and this is the one that I have. It's just the standard. And ooh, it can be really hard to open sometimes because it's wood glue, so it's glue, so it gets sticky. Ooh. Okay, make sure it kind of comes out. It's coming out. Let's put some on here. And then I'm going to adhere it. Right here because I'm dripping. Okay. And you should probably clamp that, but for today's purposes, I'm not. I'm going to screw this in. I'm going to go do this side. So I've been taking apart pallets all day and then had this bright idea to start making a shelf, which is really cool. All right, so this is gonna go, I kind of want the top and the bottom to be equal parts apart. It should be totally fine. I'm just gonna stick this here. Okay, so I'm making a video in the process and I'll be posting it to YouTube in probably a couple days because editing takes a while. But it's going to be a shelf like I have in my kitchen. Like this, the bottom. And then this is going to be the top. What do y'all think? Pretty cool, huh? So it's still in the process of being made, but it's so cool. Okay. So now I'm going to put my screws in here. And, okay, I lost one of my screws. Sure didn't fall. Oh, well, that's great. Okay. All right. So now I did pre-drill my holes. So I'm going to find my pre-drilled spots, hold this down, make sure my drill's going the right way. Okay, that one's good for now. Do my other one. Oh, I could have probably painted them first, but I'll paint it second. I'll show you how I like to paint things. Rustic-y. All right, they're probably not in there super tight yet, but I'm just gonna get them in so they stay for now. I can always tighten them again later. If you've ever made anything with pallet wood, let me know. Tell me what you've made. Write it in the comments. All right, now that they're all four in there, now I'm gonna use some pressure and I'm gonna get them in there better. Ugh, it's good enough. All right, come on the other side. All right, get these ones in here. I'm just gonna get them into the two pieces and then I'll tighten them once they're all in there. Now I'm gonna just apply some pressure to get them in there stronger or deeper. I'm glad I haven't, I shouldn't say that yet. I'm gonna say I'm glad I haven't cracked it, but I'm not done. And I'm not very strong, but it is what it is. All right, so look at that. Now I have my piece. The nails did not come through. I'm gonna put a wash of paint on here. So I'm gonna show you how I do that. Are you impressed? Whoa, give me a thumbs up if you think that's cool. And it's not that hard if you have some tools. So it's really, borrow some tools, or you can probably rent these things, but you can just go with the cheaper options, and really you can, cut this with a jigsaw instead of one of these miter saws. So in my cup, you don't have to use bottled water, but I'm gonna put a little bit of water in here first. This is called a wash. So I'm basically gonna take paint. I like to use, country white is my favorite color. So I don't actually use acrylic when I'm doing signs like this. You can use if it's gonna be outdoors, you can do like an outdoor paint, just plain. If it's gonna be inside, you can just use regular interior house paint. And the reason I say that is because this gallon was probably like, I don't know, $15. It's much more cost effective, and then it will last you a long time. So I've actually had this for a couple of years, and it's half full, and the paint is probably, oh, here's my screw I thought I lost. It sits, so you gotta stir it, if you don't use it. So I'm gonna just pour some in here, and it's gonna come out looking really thick and gooey, but I'm adding water, so it'll be fine. And then I'm gonna use a chip brush. All right, I have a chip brush here. Here it is. This is a chip brush. To put it on, I'm actually just gonna kind of wipe that off here. And all right, I'm gonna stir this. I'm just actually I'm gonna use a random stick here that I have that I found on the ground because I don't have like a real stirring thing. So I'm just gonna stir this. See you guys. All right, it is a beautiful day. It is so beautiful. So this is kind of watery, kind of like when we were doing the paint pour, but you don't want it to, well, this is actually more watery than a paint pour. It's just really making a painty, watery mess. And I'm gonna show you though, because it looks really cool when you brush it on to the wood. And then it really helps you kind of see the grains of the wood. So I'm just gonna, can you see okay? I kind of want you to get a little closer so you can see better. But I don't want to make you sick either. Okay, so I basically just used a little bit of water, a little bit of paint, I guess like half and half, I suppose. Stirred it up. So it's really watery. So now water creates splatter. So you can see my table, it's filled with splatter. So you just want to be careful in your workspace that you're working in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and just kind of wipe off some so it's not too drippy. And I'm lightly going to brush over my wood. I'm going to start up here. Just lightly. Look at that. Oh, it's perfect. I don't even have to sand it to get the look that I want. It's just putting this little bit of white. Now, you might say, gosh, this is so easy. How can people charge so much for pallet things and projects and wood? It's because of the work that gets to this. Like I said, since 11 a.m. I have been out here pulling nails, and I am going to be so sore tomorrow. So I wanted to do this tonight before the pain kicks in. So I'm going to dip again and just kind of brush up from here. Now you can, you could, once you know what wood you're going to use, you can paint it ahead of time. That way you don't have to do this step when it's put together. It's that rustic farmhouse look. That's my favorite look. Now, if you like things to look more together, I have some family members, they're just not a big fan of the rustic look, and that's perfectly fine because we all have our own things that we like and our own styles and tastes. So, just because I like to do things rustic doesn't mean you have to. So, if you end up with like a big chunk on there, then maybe start in a different spot so that way it doesn't look like it's all starting up here. As I'm doing this, you know, I'm not able to be in the studio to teach you guys. So if you are really enjoying this, if you wanted to buy a gift card, you could go to my website and purchase a gift card. I would love to do projects like this when we come, you know, when we're able to get back together. I appreciate all the people who've done pet orders, and I put a shipment out yesterday for pet orders. But you know, me being a small business, I still have bills and still need to eat and all that good stuff. So if you wanted to support me in my business, or if you wanted to purchase a gift card or buy a gift for someone, I do still have the art kits that are out there on the website. You can purchase them, and then I can contact you about if you're local, I can deliver it. So there's stuff like that that you can do, because I want you guys to be creative, and if you know some simple things, then it will help you be creative, because that's really my overall goal. It's not necessarily to be all rich and famous or anything, but really just to help people create, because the one thing I miss the most is creating with people, because I am inspired by watching you guys create. So here we go. There's a couple spots I think I'm going to just kind of put a little bit more of the wash. Don't forget the tops and bottoms. Now, if you wanted to do an accent color on this, you could. I don't have other paint out here right now, but if I wanted to add some teal to this, then I could either put a little bit of teal in my white wash, or I could just put a little teal on my paper plate, dip it in there, and just kind of wipe it on like this. It's not as scary as you think, and a lot of times it's just being brave enough to try. Then you can have this cool piece of wood that you could write herb garden on, or you could put it this way, and in the back all you'd have to do is just attach a wire with a couple nails here, and then something that you could hang here that would say like front porch rules, or there's so many cool sayings that you could do, or you could do this way. So did you enjoy this video? I just thought it would be kind of fun to show you that it can be done. It's not too difficult, and I hope that you will feel inspired to create something and get outside and play or sit in the sun and just soak it in, because it's it's just really nice to be out in the sun. It was really chilly this morning. So, but yeah, my whole workstation is, if you are just tuning in, this is all the wood that I pulled apart. I gotta get in the shade here. So I pulled apart 4 pallets the other day. Find a shady spot here. Sorry, I don't mean to make you sick. I pulled apart 4 pallets, but I had all of the nails still in it, and so I went ahead and I took all the nails out today and stacked it up, and I got a really nice haul of wood here. Some pieces did break, but I kept them anyway because, for example, let me show you why I keep some of those broken pieces. So, okay, it's totally broken and busted, but if I cut it off right here, then this part could be used as the top or the bottom of that picture. This little part here, if I cut this side, then I could create one of those pictures where there's like 5 boards in a row, and then, you know, they all kind of like back when I first did the cardinal, there was that cool picture. I got some different sizes. Oh, this one, it looks like it's saying number 1. Woo! Go Brewers, right? That's I had to keep that because I thought it was kind of funny. And if you turn it this way, it kind of looks like, oh, this way. It looks like a little, like a fish or something. Look, there's a little eye and then a little mouth. Okay, yeah, I know I'm loopy, but, you know, yeah, it's just me by myself, so I have the right to be loopy. And then, so this was some fence wood that I had gotten here that I'm going to do the same thing. I cut it, whoa, excuse me, and then I'll put them together like this, and I'll put like a top and a bottom. And if you're interested in something like this, I don't have prices listed, but maybe I would make something, or if you just want like a single board, let me know if you're interested. And I do have a lot of pet portraits. I think I have 5 that I still have to be doing. So you guys are doing awesome. Woo! Sorry. I'm so sorry. I totally knocked over my camera and then I couldn't figure out how to find you. I was worried that I had lost you all, but I won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you did, share this with a friend. Go to YouTube and find my YouTube channel where I actually show you how to pull apart some pallets, and it's kind of humorous. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, make a comment, I don't know. But I just enjoy sharing these things with you. So thanks for watching, okay, and get out and enjoy some sunshine. Okay, we'll see you later. I'm just losing it. Okay, bye.